Mark Evans was not just any CEO. At 45, he had built Evans Mart from a single small shop into a thriving convenience store chain with locations all across the country. But as the company grew, Mark felt increasingly disconnected from what was happening at the ground level. Reports and sales numbers told him the business was doing well, but were his employees happy? Were they upholding the values he had built his company on? There was only one way to find out. So, one Friday morning, Mark made a bold decision. He would go undercover at one of his stores. No fancy suits, no private office, just him, a fake identity, and a chance to see the real experience of his workers and customers. Mark donned old jeans, a worn hoodie, and a baseball cap. He grew out his beard just enough to make himself look like an ordinary guy. He chose one of his busier locations, a store in a dense urban area known for its fast pace and high sales volume. Under the alias Mike, a new temporary worker, he stepped into the store, blending into the crowd. The store manager, Joe, a middle-aged man with a friendly but no-nonsense attitude, greeted him at the door. "Welcome aboard, Mike," Joe said. "We could use the extra hands. Grab a name tag and let's get to work." Mark nodded and got straight to stocking shelves. He wanted to observe, listen, and understand. It didn't take long for Mark to notice Ryan, the young cashier at the front. Unlike most employees just going through the motions, Ryan was different. He greeted every customer by name, asked about their families, and genuinely seemed to care. He made people smile, brightening their day in the smallest of ways. Then something happened that stopped Mark cold. An elderly man, dressed in a tattered coat, placed a loaf of bread and a carton of milk on the counter. As Ryan rang up the purchase, he glanced at the man and said, "Don't worry about the total today, Mr. Thompson. It's on me." The old man hesitated. "Ryan, I can't keep letting you do this. You'll get in trouble." Ryan leaned in slightly and whispered, "It's fine. I've got this." Mark watched as the old man's eyes filled with gratitude. He thanked Ryan quietly and left the store. Mark was stunned. Why would a cashier be paying for a customer's groceries out of his own pocket? He decided to keep an eye on Ryan. Over the next few hours, Mark noticed Ryan helping multiple customers in similar ways. He would cover small bills, discreetly add items to their bags, or offer quiet discounts without making a show of it. At the end of his shift, Mark approached Ryan in the break room. "Hey, I saw what you did today," he said casually. "Why do you help so many people like that?" Ryan looked up, surprised. "Some of our customers are struggling. Mr. Thompson? He lost his wife last year and has been barely making ends meet. There's a single dad who comes in with his kids, and sometimes they can't afford everything. If I can help, I do. It's not much, but it makes a difference." Mark felt a lump in his throat. Here was a young man earning a modest salary, going out of his way to support others. The next day, Mark continued working, chatting with other employees. That's when an older stock worker, Bill, shared something that shook Mark. "Ryan, that kid has a tough life. His dad passed away when he was a teenager. He's been working non-stop to support his younger brother ever since. Barely takes a day off, even when he's sick. He gives everything to others, but I don't think anyone looks out for him." Mark was speechless. Ryan, who always smiled and helped others, was carrying such a heavy burden himself. The next day, Mark continued working, chatting with other employees. That's when an older stock worker, Bill, shared something that shook Mark. "Ryan, that kid has a tough life. His dad passed away when he was a teenager. He's been working non-stop to support his younger brother ever since. Barely takes a day off, even when he's sick. He gives everything to others, but I don't think anyone looks out for him." Mark was speechless. Ryan, who always smiled and helped others, was carrying such a heavy burden himself. On the third day, Mark decided it was time. After closing hours, he gathered the staff. Taking off his hoodie and cap, he finally revealed himself. "I'm Mark Evans," he said, "the CEO of Evans Mart. I came here undercover to see what happens in my stores, and what I've seen has been eye-opening." Gasps filled the room. Ryan stood frozen in shock. Mark turned to him. "Ryan, your kindness and generosity have inspired me. You go above and beyond for our customers, even when you don't have to. That's why I want to make sure your kindness doesn't go unnoticed." He then made an announcement. Ryan was being promoted to a management position with a significant raise. But that wasn't all. Mark also revealed that he would cover the cost of Ryan's younger brother's education and set up a fund to help struggling employees across all Evans Mart locations. Ryan was overwhelmed with gratitude. "Sir, I never did any of this to be noticed. I just wanted to help." Mark smiled. "That's exactly why you deserve this." From that day forward, that store became a model for the entire company. Employees felt more valued, customers felt more appreciated, and Mark made it a point to regularly visit his stores, not as a CEO behind a desk, but as someone who truly understood what happened on the ground. One undercover visit didn't just change Mark's perspective. It changed the lives of the people he met. And in the end, one act of kindness had set off a ripple effect that would touch countless lives. This is the kind of story that reminds us all that kindness, even in the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact. What would you have done in Mark's shoes? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring real-life stories.